Good morning. Welcome back to Wicked Works. It's time to start the metal work on the 59.
Oh, I'm so awkward. I'm so awkward.
All right. It's a very hot, humid day in the shop. I was working on the 59. Something that I've kind of sort of been doing is the disc brake conversion in the front, which is now done. I just got done putting the dual circuit master in, and I was getting ready to run the hard lines, and then I kind of thought, well, I'm gonna end up having to pull a lot of that out again to do some of the metal work, because I have a feeling at least one of the pans has to be done, you know, or at least I guess I think what I want to do is explore the body a little bit more and see how much of the stuff that I want to try to put on right now I can put on right now for the last time. So what I'm going to do is start pulling this driver's rear fender off, because I know there's all kinds of nasty going on up in this area. So I'm going to pull that off and see what sort of danger lurks beneath. This is already going well. Yeah. Okay. I don't really want to yank on this because I think this fender might be savable and I'd like to use it if we can. So I'm gonna carry on just pulling stuff out of this and see what happens. Oh. Okay, so this is all accidentally hit a button that made it stop recording. So this is pretty soft up here, so I can just sail my screwdriver through that. So that's not great. And there's definitely been things living in there. Oh, what's that? A little rubber plug. Come out. So, well, actually, it looks like it's not in bad shape. It's gross. Alright, so the typical yuckies. Yep, it's all gone. Great. Okay. Well, that's a thing. I don't really know what we're going to do about this. I'm going to have to look around DBK and see what's, or DKB, whatever that metal place is. See what we can do about all of this. All right, we're on the 59. So I'm getting ready to basically cut this whole side out of the car because I have a whole new side to go in the car. I don't know what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to do here is actually pull the engine because I want to make sure I know that I have to undo some of the spot welds on the engine shelf in here so that this panel is not really attached to this, but also separate from that, I have, let me turn the camera around. I have a whole bunch of spot welds in here that I got to drill, as well as all the way up that arch and all the way around that and back down here, because that tub is the backside of this panel. I've got to figure out like several measurements to make and write down and keep somewhere. You know, I'll be able to locate on the body mount bracket too, but I want to make sure that I get this back in the same spot because this door actually opens and closes pretty good. And I've got to figure out how to get this line, this body line, to stay, you know, consistent all the way down. I'm not welding, I'm not cutting on this line, and I'm not going to weld here. I may, just as like a fit check cut line, do a little bit below this. I don't know if I want to go above these holes or just drill new ones in that panel, but that panel goes up to this crease. So I may go like a quarter of an inch below that maybe. I've got to talk to Dubworks again and see what he thinks. But first things first, I'm going to pull the motor. I got to get that bolt out of there, and then I'll probably start drilling spot welds while I wait for him to answer me, because I have 1,000 of those to drill out. So once I actually have a better idea as to how I am pulling this off, I will start filming again. But you've seen me pull 100 engines and drill many spot welds, so I'm probably not going to film any of that. When something important happens, I will fire up the camera again. Okay, it's another day. I got shot in the face yesterday. That's fine. We're working on the 59 still. I'm getting ready to replace that entire quarter. And Dubworks pointed out to me that there's some things that I have to make sure are good before I do that and the channel and probably the rear cross brace all at the same time. One of those things being that the door pins are messed up pretty good. Despite the door opening and closing pretty good, the pins have a lot of play in them. So I've got these soaking right now. This bottom one's not too bad, but the upper one is pretty bad. So I've got these soaking. Dubworks told me to set it up like this, and then I'm basically going to get an air hammer and force that pin out of there. And I'm hoping that with how easy it was for me to get these screws out, it will be pretty easy for me to get these pins out. So we'll see what happens. I'm also hoping that I can get away with just the first oversized pins and I don't have to order second oversized pins. So I'm gonna let this sit a little bit here, and then when we're ready to blast these out, I'll get you going again. Oh. All right, we're going to try to do the bottom one first. See what happens. I'll get some gloves on here. And ear protection is important as well. I don't know how much I'll actually get the pin out. The bit that I have on my air hammer, it's just kind of big, and I don't know how far I'll be able to get it up there. So I'm hoping once I get it started moving, I'll be able to maybe switch over to a regular hammer and a punch. Oh my God, like cake. Oh, perfect. Easy peasy. Great. come back, come back. Okay. All right, so I should be able to switch over to a punch and a hammer. I think someone's already tried to do this, and thankfully, it looks like they put some anti-seize on the pins. Perfect. All right, let me get a punch and a hammer. Oh, lovely. It's so weird to not have a total basket case to work on. Okay, that one. We'll do this guy. It's not quite out of there yet. Should at least be able to. No, come on. There's one. Get this guy out of there. This top guy. Okay, I got to figure out how to get the pedestal for the mirror off of that one, and I'll have to get another mirror for it. This one's broken. Okay, so I need to find Rachel's ream. See if I can ream these out. 318 hinge pin reamer, first oversize. Okay. And that doesn't go through, so I assume that's good. I might have to call Dubworks here and ask if I have to drill this before I ream it. So let me do some research here, and then we'll figure out how to do these things. All right, I'm going to get ear pro and probably eye pro and gloves and stuff, but I'm going to try to ream this out as best we can. I've not done this before, at least like this. The thing that I'm worried about is getting both of these to line up properly. So we'll see what happens. I am going to use some fluid film just to aid in cutting. Switch this back over to a right-handed tool. I'm gonna go real slow like. All right, well, that was pretty easy. So I'm going to do that to the door now, and then we'll try to bash a pin in there and see what happens. All right, so this can really go on only one way, because if I do it this way, it's not going to really work. It has to go that way. Okay. So we're going to get a little juice. We'll put there. We'll put on the pin there, right there, and I guess we should kind of roll that around and it does all nice and coated. Okay. All right. go. Well, that's very nice. There's only like enough play in it that it will turn. So that's good. So that's nice. All right, I'm going to repeat that process on the top hinge up here, and then hopefully we can reinstall the door and see if that made a difference. All right, so this one's pretty good. No movement in that. This one, there's still some wibble wobble in that. So this one I'm gonna have to do again with the second oversize. So I gotta order that pin, I gotta order that reamer. Once I have that done, I can fit it back up to the car and we can start trying to hack this out. In the meantime, I got some angle. I gotta brace this up and start putting body pads in. I think while I'm waiting for the pins so that I can do, or that upper pin there so I can get that door back in, I'm gonna start trying to figure out how I can do the channel on this side, and I need to have the body. Oh, great. I didn't realize that was pork too. I've gotta have the body pads in. So I'm gonna have to do all that first. Now I gotta see if I can find that that bracket there, because that's crusty too, like it is on the other side. Okay, great. Well, that's the plan. I'm not gonna bother filming me doing the bracing because you've seen me do that many times. So I'm gonna do that, and then hopefully sometime later on in the week, I'll start trying to figure out how exactly I'm gonna do that channel over there. Start getting on that. So until the next time. All right, we're on the 59. I just pulled the passenger door, the front fenders. I got one brace in and started kind of cleaning up all the spot weld areas on that channel. I have to wait to do that side because I have to get the door hinges sorted out on that side, and that's proving to be more difficult than it should be. Anyway, I'm working on this side because the door hinge is actually great on this side. So I'm just kind of getting everything ready on this side for bracing so that I can undo all the spot welds and everything. But I'll have to, just remembering that I'm probably going to have to replace that mount before I do anything. At any rate, I wanted to film whatever is behind this disgusting panel, because it's probably not good. Yeah, great. All right, well, I'm gonna wire wheel or fatigue this until that, oh, it's just got, you can see that right there, it's just got nails in it or something. So I'm gonna get this off and we'll take a look at how bad that is. That will actually make this super easy to take that channel out because nothing's attached anymore anyway. So I'm gonna hit this all with a wire wheel and see how much is actually still there. And then I'm pretty much just gonna do the same thing I did on that side. Clean up a bit on the A pillar, and a bit on the B pillar over here. Weld the brace in, see if I have enough to do A pillar to A pillar and B pillar to B pillar. I'll probably have to get some more, or you know, just put two together or something. Yeah, once I have that all boxed in, we can start trying to get this channel out. I have a feeling it'll pretty much just come out. It's pretty crispy. Okay, we're on the 59 again. I don't remember if I said this or not, but I tried to do the second oversized door pin for the upper hinge on the driver's door. Didn't work, so we're gonna end up replacing that hinge. So until I can get the driver's door situated, I can't do anything on the driver's side. So we're working on the passenger side. I had to do, I'll turn the camera around. So I had to make a new bracket over here. Yes, I see this little hole over here. I'm going to do that from the inside. Both of those holes actually I'm going to do from the inside, but I had to make that bracket so that I can put body pads under there and start doing the channel. I'm pretty sure I've got it all disconnected back here. None of that is connected anymore, so I've just got a few more cuts to do up here, and then I should be able to sneak that channel out and see how the new one fits. I am fairly certain, oh, it does still have the tube in there too, so I might see if I can get a metal tube to go in there to get rid of the paper, but I've got to order that tube. So let me make some cuts over here to get that channel out. See if we can sneak that out of there today. That's my goal anyway. So it looks like this channel was already rotted out, and they either made or took another piece and then basically wrapped this around the bottom and then nut and bolted through it. So I gotta get these out of here. I gotta finish taking off the bottom of this A-pillar, and then I gotta find a way to clean all that up and get this piece out of here, because that's part of the old channel. And then I can try to fit the new one in maybe. So I'm going to carry on with that. When something more exciting happens, I'll get you back in. All right, I've got the channel out. I've got a lot of this all cleaned up. A lot of it's pretty rotted. I'm going to end up replacing both parts of the firewall, but I'm going to wait until after the channels are done and the body is off to do that, because I'm going to end up doing the pans as well. I got a lot of this cleaned up over here and at least bent out of the way. I want to fit the channel and see if I'm going to have to, how much of this I'm going to have to replace, because it's pretty crispy all the way around, but I want to fit the channel and see how we're doing here. We went with the DKB channels. These are really, really nice pieces. So I'm excited to fit these in. All right, I unbolted the other side and disconnected the steering coupler because that was falling apart anyway. I've been able to get the body up a little bit more, and now we're going to try to fit the channel in again, hopefully. Hey. Right there, because that looks like that's too long. And looks like that wants to be kind of back there. Okay. That's actually looking okay right there. Let me get some bolts from my kit and see if we can't get this to sit down some. A couple of bolts in here. A lot of these are lining up pretty good. All right, so it almost looks like it's in a pretty good spot. I've got it bolted in at the front. I've got one here in the corner and one at the back. All the other bolt holes kind of line up pretty good. That's not a great indicator, but that's where I'm starting. So at the moment, it's looking pretty high over here, and I think it's because this guy is just a little bit too far back, because this only extends probably 1/8 of an inch past this panel here, and if it wasn't sitting on top of this, it would drop about that. So I made a mark, and I'm going to pull the channel back out and probably just cut a little baby bit of that off, and then stick it back in here, and hopefully that will provide the clearance that I need to drop that part down a little bit more and get this in the right spot. I am probably gonna make some like little flanges to weld to the edge of a couple of spots, just so that I have, you know, something to weld this to. But yeah, that's my next step, is to kind of clearance that out and get the body to drop down a little bit more. All right, I've got this fitting a lot better now. I just took a teeny weeny little bit out of that. That's sitting down nice. It's sitting down pretty good here. So now I'm gonna start. I have not welded this in at all. I'm not even 100% on its position yet, but I'm using its position now as kind of a general guide to repair this section here of the inner wheel tub, and give myself a little bit of flange on the A pillar and the B pillar, so that I have something to weld to when it's time. Once I get it welded in and I have the body off is when I'll probably do the quarter and probably the cross brace in the back, as well as the firewall pieces up here. Yeah, so I'm going to start working on this, and then when it's time to start welding the channel in, I'll get you back in here. So I'm working on cutting this cross member out here so that I can place the channel properly. Once I get that piece in and get the back secured, I can start setting up the A pillar, get the door gap set, and then start welding that in. So I've already gone through here, kind of cleaned up that edge, did all the spot welds. So now I just have to hammer and chisel it apart. So once I get ready to set the new one in there, I'll get you back in here. Okay. Now. All right, well, I've got all this vacuumed out, kind of ready to start fitting this panel. However, these panels come with a little extra wing on here, and all of that is actually in pretty good shape up there. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of follow this line along there and just cut that off, and see how that fits. I do have to, in order to get the old one out, I had to cut along here from the underside. So I'm going to have to separate that little piece of metal that's still underneath here, just so that everything is kind of layered correctly. And then I can fit this in. So let me do those things, and then we can try to fit this. All right, so we're gonna kind of sort of make that. It looks like. I'm gonna have to put the pad in place underneath this to lift it up the way I need it to be. Anyway, otherwise this is gonna be all porked up. So I think, you know, I've got the general idea as to what I need now. So I've got to do a little bit more cleaning of this side, and probably start cleaning these edges up, and then I'll put the channel kind of sort of back in place and lower the body down, and see where everything is sitting then, and then take it all apart again and get ready to slap it all back together. Okay, I might have skipped ahead just a little bit. So don't worry, I don't have anything welded in yet, but I've got the channel kind of. I got a single thing back there. I've got my cross brace bolted in, again, not welded, and I just got done setting the door up. And I didn't film that because I haven't done this many times, and I didn't want to have to film for 45 minutes while I figured out what the hell I was doing. So, a brief explanation as to how as far as I remember, Dubworks explained to me how to do this. I've got the body bolted in back here. I've got one bolt up the front into the beam. I have the channel loosely bolted in. I got one bolt back here, very loose, and I got one bolt up the front, very loose. So I drop the body on, and then I get the door bolted back in, and I take the striker out. And then I jack up underneath the A-pillar to lift the channel. And what I'm looking for at that point, now remember the striker's gonna be out, so it ain't gonna do that, is getting this to line up, okay? Once that's good, then we can start trying to set the door gap and all that. And once, I'm not even gonna try to explain how I did that because I'm not really sure. But your hinges that move like this affect how the door sits in the body this way, okay? So if you slide that hinge out up there, then the top of the door is gonna come out more. Then same thing with the bottom, and you play with it that way. You know, and it just takes time to get that and then the striker all set up. And right at the moment, I think I've got it pretty good. It's latching. It takes like no effort to open it, no effort to close it. So now that I have that in that position, I'm going to start tacking the channel to the A-pillar. Well, before I do that, I guess I need to figure out if I need to add metal anywhere to make sure that I'm not creating more work for myself somehow. So, assuming I don't have to like add little brackets somewhere so that I can weld to something, my next step is going to be welding the channel in. All right. Took everything apart, checked everything I needed to check, and I got my little holes back there. I'll probably still end up seaming it. I've got my door reset again. Uh-oh. What's that doing? You weren't doing that a second ago. Oh, that's why I gotta get this guy back in there. There we go. Yep. All right, so now that I have that in place, I'll do a couple of tacks around the bottom of that. And then a couple spot welds and things back here, and then maybe tomorrow I'll finish that up. Because while I'm working on this, I'm also in the process of doing that. So now, hopefully, when I let this jack down and the car's on the ground again, the door will open real nice. We'll see. It didn't move. Moment of truth. Make sure this guy's still kind of in there. Yeah. Okay. Oh, ugh. What happened? All right, well, that did not work. All right, so I think I have this figured out. It's opening and closing really nice. So now I can start doing more welding. I'm not going to say finish welding because I'm gonna mostly weld that cross brace in and some of the inside part of the channel. Like I said, I still have to un this and do the wheel tub as well. But once I'm waiting until after I have the body off to do the firewall and close all that up. I'm basically just gonna like do more tacking, I guess, to make sure that everything stays where it is and make sure that this continues to do that. And then start looking at trying to do this. Now, all right, good morning, friends. It's that time of year where we've got to have the onesie on. We're working on the 59 today. So I've got the channel mostly welded in on that side, and I've got that front bit kind of patched up there in that corner. I'm waiting for the quarter piece to come in. I just ordered that a few minutes ago. So now while I'm waiting for that, I can get started on this side because I finally got the door hinge done for this over there. So now I can work on getting this whole panel out, which, as you recall, I have. So far, I'm just doing a lot of spot weld drilling back here over the tub and everything. I've got to do a little bit down here and up that arch. I've pretty much got all of this done, and down here, I got it all separated in this corner and down here. So also I got it separated here as well. So I've got like a little cut to do there, and I've got to cut the rest of that rotten mount off. And then once I get the spot welds done on the inside, I'll probably make a cut just below this blue line to get that out of there. And then I can start to try to fit that. But I also, at the same time, have to do that cross member and the channel. I have to do all three of those pieces at the same time. So I'm not freaking out at all. All right, so I'm gonna continue doing some spot welding. I'm not gonna bother filming that because it's just drilling spot welds. And then when it gets time to make the last few cuts to get this big panel out of here, then I'll get you back in. Still? Oh, there it is. Okay. Did I miss a bolt back here? No, they welded it to the pan. Oh, Lord. Okay. This out the way. And that out the way. And then I think I got to do a little sweepy here, because this is a proper mess. All right. Hello. It's been a few weeks since I've worked on the 59. And in typical Wicked Works fashion, as of late anyway, I've skipped ahead just a little bit. So I've got the panel placed. I've started welding it. I've got to finish welding it. I've got the channel kind of like in a good spot. I have not welded that in at all. Basically, I'm in the stage of just like getting everybody buttoned up and getting ready to weld things in. So, how does this close? Very nice. Gaps are good. I'm gonna have to make a little filler to go in here and get that closed up. But everything's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna continue welding this. I'm gonna start welding the channel in. Basically, I'm at the point now where I've got to weld in as much as I can where the body is, and then I've got to focus on getting that body on that chassis to get that off the lift so that I can get this on the lift, and so I can take the body off of that chassis to finish welding everything, but also replace the firewall and start working on the pan, because the pans are not great. So that's the plan so far. I'm going to continue welding this in and get everybody all that good, and then probably when it comes time to take the body off is when we'll do more filming, and then I'll finish the episode there. Great. What was that? Oh, that's what that was. Okay, that was stuck in there anyway. Oh, forgot about the choke cable. Not that Sue's going to use that. Guess we're putting a 1300 in this. Okay, and up we go. Yeah, good job, asshole. You're just gonna forget everything today? Schmuck. Okay. See? I don't get it right all the time. In fact, I don't get it right most of the time. All right, is that everything? No harnesses or nothing? Okay. All right, disconnected. We'll start in the front. Obviously, you can see where the spare tire well is rotted, but the front of the apron looks fine. It's so weird. So I've got this whole panel coming, as well as the outside of the firewall about 9 inches down. So I'll be able to do this and weld the channel to the inside the way it was from the factory, and a separate panel that does the inside piece. So I'll get to do all of that. Channels are in for the most part. I've got to kind of remake this lip here, do some finish welding on both of these pieces, as well as actually finishing up that side. I've got to finish these corners, and I have a shelf to put in on this side, and another body bracket to make over here, and I'm going to replace this whole piece, as well as the apron. The apron's going to get replaced as well. So like I said, hold on, I got all kinds of stuff leaking out of my face because it's cold. So like I said, after I jumped ahead several times, I'm going to end it here. The panels, it's Thursday today. I'm expecting the panels that I ordered to do all that stuff that I just talked about, to come on Tuesday, and then we can get started on this. So I'm going to end this episode here. That's taken me at this point 4 months to film. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like, leave a comment, share with your friends. You can follow me on Instagram at WickedWorks. If you yourself, in the area or not, have a car that you need some work done on, you can go ahead and email me at wickedworksvw@gmail.com. Is it getting time for State of the Fleet address? Now that I've got like pretty much everybody stacked up in the corner over there, I think it's probably getting about that time. Yeah. Did I say all the things? Pretty sure I did. Okay, bye-bye.